Hello and welcome to my therapy session. I can already see with the eyes of my imagination people who saw the title and started foaming, their saliva dripping off their mouths, tripping and stumbling over their words, screaming into the screen and being ready to type something like, "You fucking snowflake, everything just offends you, this generation SMH, you don't know what humor is." And if you're one of those people, then I'm afraid I'll have to heavily disappoint you and possibly confront your worldview beyond repair because, and here comes the shocking revelation number one, surprisingly, I'm not exactly waking up at 3 a.m. with cold sweat, shaking and nervously moving from one side to another inside my bed because Leafy or one of his copycats called an overweight person fat or a skinny male a bitch, wondering if they think the same about me. I know, what an absolute oddball I am. How quirky! But not everybody who says anything negative against this kind of content is saying it because they are offended. In fact, I feel like it's just a proof of how shallow these people's creation can truly get, that people can't think of even a single other thing that could possibly be distinguishable and controversial about those videos. A comedy that's offensive isn't bad because it's offensive, but on the other side of the same coin, just because it's edgy and in your face doesn't make it immediately great. And it's because, and you better sit or lay down for that one if you haven't yet, because this might be a crazy concept, there's more to content than just one out of thousands of elements and premises present in basically any work in any genre ever. Of course, I'm not saying everything has insane depth and intricacy like every YouTube video is a Neil Breen movie, but saying something's bad, good or great only because it's not playing around would be kinda limiting to a lot of work and people in general that do exactly that, only in a much better, more developed, original and interesting way. Secondly, I also understand that a lot of people feel nostalgic about Leafy, and maybe even this style of content in general, saying that those were the best times when nobody gave a fuck. We could say whatever, and I'm genuinely not here to challenge that. I'm not fucking threatening your childhood and holding your 12-year-old self at a gunpoint. No, nor am I trying to say to a kid that your taste is trash, go fucking cry to your mama since nothing apparently ever offended you. I really don't mind if you liked or maybe even still like it. I'm personally someone who never watched Leafy before. I saw some of this style of content because because it was fucking everywhere, and as a teenager I even liked some creators that were similar to what I'm gonna call out today. I'm not ashamed to admit it, see if I give a fuck. So I do possess quite the neutral outlook on both those creators and those times in general, which is something that you either have or you don't, can't change it. That's why I thought it'd be a great idea for me to share my perspective on this whole trend. It's also hilarious that I had to explain it in order to not trigger some of those people who literally claim people should chill out, stop getting offended, when I called out their favorite creator in a negative way. It's almost like some of them are not as tough and independently thinking like they say they are. Finally, this video will be slightly different as I'll be accommodating towards fans of Leafy and content creators like Leafy. So for the most part you will see gameplay on the screen, so that it will be easier to both digest and also to show what's wrong with those video farms altogether. If you end up liking the video further down the line, consider slapping the like button like YouTube slapped Leafy's relevancy out of the internet stratosphere, and join our growing community by subscribing. And if you dislike it, then you can go full Leafy is back in here on me in the comment section like it's 2010s all over again, I guess. Anyway, without a further ado, let's check out Leafy. Now, when you think Leafy, you think of 2015/2017 content, and that's exactly what we're gonna check out first. But it's worth noting that he was permabanned on YouTube in 2020 because of his 5-parter video chain about Pokimane, which, if you watch the video about Pokimane I made, is kinda funny in a twisted way, because that year the Pokimane cycle that I've talked about there was at full swing. It was never higher, and I feel like every time she's brought up, there's something more to learn regarding her channels in 2020. I'm not even saying it's her fault there. It isn't. She ain't a damn judge and jury, didn't pull the trigger on Leafy like it's Wild West that cries and cuffs anyone who's cussing. It's just kinda ironic that it happened then. I guess we really do attract the energy that we deal, huh? Anyway, after he got banned in 2020, nothing notable until 2023 happened around his name, because only then he would start uploading and streaming on a platform called Rumble, and his last stream was about 4 months ago. So I just want to clarify, when I say Leafy's Copycats, I'm specifically referring to the later half of 2010 style of content. Got it? Let's check these masterpieces out.
Today we're actually gonna be talking about anime, and holy shit is it gonna be juicy.
Did someone say anime? Well, we're all ears, Leafy. I wonder what he's thinking about VTubers nowadays. By the way, those intros and later on outros really are a blast from the past for millennials. Like listening to music on VHS tapes and cassette players is for the older generations.
Since I was brought into life by coming out of my dad's penis and me fighting in a goddamn arena against a bunch of other sperm cells, okay?
Why does he low-key sound like Saikuno if he was 12 again there? Not gonna lie, his voice made me feel a bit uncomfortable with the thought of publicly criticizing him, because he sounds like a kid here. So I checked his age, and he's apparently from 1995, which means he was already in his 20s when he gained notoriety. So, we're in the green zone, like we're becoming Leafy's fursona. I mean, his YouTube icon.
I'm not even gonna lie, okay? I have been wanting to make this video for the longest time. Like, I'm not talking a few weeks or a few months. I've been wanting to make this video for a pretty goddamn long time. Or maybe not this video in particular, but at least. But today, as I said, we're gonna be talking about anime. And you know, I've been wanting to make a video on this topic for a while now. You see this right here? This is the first piece of evidence why anime itself is going to be the ultimate destruction of mankind. So, but seriously, this is the end of mankind, okay? No, guys, seriously, this is the beginning to the end, okay? This has pretty much been a video that I've been wanting to make for quite some time now.
Now you may be wondering, why did you just show me all those different clips from random videos? He talked about anime multiple times. What's wrong with that? And if you do, I'm here to rock your socks off with a plot twist that will physically and mentally shock you, because it's all the same video. Yes, my first point I'm trying to make is that, holy shit, why are you yapping about the same thing so much? Maybe I'm just a complete party pooper because I'm not particularly interested in a joke you are making with the exact same premise and punchline as the one you made a literal minute ago. Like the party is taking place at an insane asylum founded in the name of Albert Einstein. I understand that if something changes, something's different, you want to refer to the thing you just said some time ago. Even if it was very recent, maybe remodel the joke so that it still works, or even retract the previous one altogether. But I guarantee you that nothing ever changes with this. This was a completely random video of a YouTuber I haven't seen at all, I believe. But because of all his clones or people with similar content, I genuinely knew that it would be exactly this way. And guess what? The first video I randomly picked, surprisingly, was already repeating itself a bunch of times. On the other hand though, I really can't see how that's so controversial beyond belief. He makes fun of people sharing their weird and sometimes straight up insane, dangerous, ridiculous obsessions publicly, at least what he personally deems to be one or many of those things. In general, he wasn't someone who was like straight up wishing the worst to people, advocated for violence against them and just being completely fucking weird on his videos. Leafy was familiarizing viewers with the
dark side of the internet
on a rather shallow level, as he was mostly talking about one or couple of clips he found and reacted in cringe or disgust. And there's nothing inherently wrong with that. Not everybody has the pathological need to inform people about details they don't care about for the sake of some kind of weird idea of perfectionism, like I usually do, for example. There's no really right or wrong way of making content, and that's what's beautiful about it. Another thing I didn't expect is the fact that he edited in little skits at the beginning sometimes and done some structural editing in general. I was 99% sure he just talked over his gameplay the entire time while sometimes showing the clips and maybe from time to time something like a photo or an article on the screen partially overlaying the gameplay footage. So I was pleasantly surprised when I saw that his videos followed structures, almost as if it was straight out of Charlie Chaplin's script. And they were a bit less monotone thanks to that fact. That's another plus. So like, this was kinda repetitive, not bad, not offensive. I think we should check another video. I think this has potential.
I think he's gonna be fucking dead in the next one. There made 2 videos on Joey's diabetes. Joey's challenges.
It's
Death, dude. That sounded like diabetes.
all
Obese. Fucking probably diabetic.
the same. Second point, and I swear you become what you surround yourself with, because I'll be repeating myself about repetitiveness as if it's a concept straight out of an Ernest Hemingway's novel that's supposed to teach us a lesson about how everyone's equal in nature, because the jokes are the exact same words and sentences. 1-to-1 level of similarity. So many times that I can list what's going to be said before watching any of his videos. All you need is to know the topic he will be talking about, because those are the main differences and make his work at least a little bit dynamic and unpredictable. But the problem is that even the topics can be classified into categories, and if you do that, then you will know what he's going to say every time, even though the subject is different. If he talks about someone who's fat, eating a lot, and/or complaining about something that happens because of their weight, he's going to repeat the word diabetic, them having a stroke, stuffing their asses with food, them not making it for much longer, etc, etc. And again, I'm not throwing my quadruple bacon burger with extra sauce into my screen whenever he says that, and I wouldn't do that if I had problems with being overweight either, because at the end of the day, who cares? It's not personal, it's not literal bullying. It's someone on the internet calling another person on their fat. Really not that serious if you ask me. It's simply just kinda fucking boring. If he's talking about some kind of a weirdo or a sexual deviant, he will have a freak out moment or two. He will accurately call them out for being weird, will laugh at their appearance and behavioral patterns, which again, I'm not tripping over. It's just that even those jokes are mostly very base level, like calling someone out for wearing
goofy shit
by calling it out and sometimes saying he wants the same thing, ironically. But even these specific Leafy's topic genres aside, there are also general jokes that you can count on hearing no matter the subject. Things like,
I wanted to off myself.
in slightly different variants, I admit, so props for that. And I use self-deprecating humor as well, so I'm obviously not calling him out for that. I'm just saying it's the exact same thing every time, only very slightly altered, from drinking bleach to curing your impure thoughts with memes, or
This world is doomed.
joke that also has variants such as For example, "We are doomed,"
The world is over.
or the gay jokes, otherwise known as the implications that someone's gay, or anecdotes on alleged behaviors of homosexual people like they are some kind of a fucking algorithm, each following the exact same coding, and things like that in general. You'd pick up on these things insanely quickly if you'd watch like 2 consecutive videos of his, and all the inner powers of the world forbid you watching 2 consecutive videos of Leafy about the same creator, because I did watch a compilation of the 2020 Pokemon series that got him banned.
The dude that's working out of a sweatshop in some random third world country.
Why does he sound so much different right now? Bro sounds like he got lost on Discord and never found a way back to reality. Why does he sound like he just got his mask taken off by Scooby and rest of the crew?
And I would have gotten away with it too, if it weren't for you meddling kids.
Headass. I've never met someone whose voice changes to match their face every time, even after drastic changes before. He definitely studied the path of the blade in his spare time during the time he was gone. And even after all those years, I was still listening to the same fucking clip of Ethan Klein, of all people, saying that same line about Leafy not being able to come back to the internet about 12 times. So even if his editing style changed, he still regurgitated the same shit over and over again, just like the old days. I guarantee you that you will see at the very least, best case scenario, at least one of those things I've said there 1-to-1, word for word, bar for bar, like I stole his entire flow and wrote the recipe for his formula on a chalkboard for the whole class to see, if you decide to watch more. If you are interested and want to spend any time watching this kind of commentary content, then I'd genuinely suggest watching one video per the topic category to see for yourself the OG way of making commentary YouTube videos. But after that, unless you really enjoy what you see from that and want more of the same, I'd say you've seen basically everything there is to the channel, other than the funny, disgusting, and/or peculiar clips and situations he's talking about. So it can also be some kind of assurance and mindless fun for some of the audience, now that I think about it. And we all need to turn our brains off from time to time. So if that same limited format is fun to you, then I can understand how you'd like it. Even if it is by definition boring and repetitive as fuck. Leafy at his best had about 5 million people subscribed to his channel, so it's no wonder a fair amount of copycats would come out of garbage bins, hopping onto the content train like it's the Polar Express and they are just lonely children trying to reach their dream destination through all the adversity. There's no shame in taking inspiration from something or someone. In fact, one could objectively say originality doesn't exist anymore. And objectively, it's hard to say that notion is all that wrong. But there's levels to this shit, okay? The entire structures, the already repetitive sentences and jokes, all used again and again in the exact same or very similar cadence to Leafy, is fucking deplorable. It's like watching one person vomiting, other person in the line picking and eating up and vomiting the same thing again for the next creator to spit the same thing over and over and over again. We are not talking about all people with gameplay footage that do the commentary or reactionary kind of content, just to be clear. It's just a visual part of videos, and a lot of those creators genuinely do bring up their own points, try to tell something new, or share their honest opinions with people. No, we are specifically talking about this kind of thing.
Instead, we're gonna look at some of the fucked shit they create on Rule 34 while I sit here and wish I never fucking existed.
This mask that is easier to breathe in. Okay, well, at that point you just might as well be an anti-masker, because wearing this mask right here, it defeats the entire purpose of wearing one.
And here is today's comment of the day, so drop a comment.
Respectfully, I'd rather gouge my eyes out with like a spoon.
I'd rather shove 2 fingers on my fucking ass. So, as you can tell by the title, I legit want to fucking drink bleach.
If you know me, you'll know how every time I see one of these anywhere,
Why are we still here? Just to suffer?
This was a short compilation and you're not getting much more. I'm not going to address any of those singularly by name because it'd be like picking up a grain of sand on a beach, giving it a name, throwing it back where I picked it up from and trying to find the exact same damn near microscopical grain of sand again, all while screaming out the name I gave it just now. I'd look like I'm having the most severe mental breakdown of my existence, and you'd look like you're watching a camera capturing the inside of an abandoned by specialists and God himself mental institution, so you'd also look like a threat to society by proxy. We are not doing that. What I am going to address is that the TikTok YouTube Shorts version of Leafy clones are somehow so much fucking worse, it's not even funny. I called Leafy's content stale and overall boring, but thanks to it being stale, he at the very least avoided stopping every single content piece he was reacting to every 2 fucking seconds, trying to, oh, roast, wow, what a dumbass, I have no idea what the video's about yet, but ooh, how stupid.
Yesterday, I roasted my biggest clone on YouTube, and a few hours later, this motherfucker responded to me, and it's fucking awful. So yesterday, I found the biggest Risk clone I've ever. You guys genuinely got married? That would honestly be the biggest mistake I've ever seen.
I've been filming YouTube videos with Zoe for 4 years now.
Yeah, and it looks like she hasn't enjoyed it for 4 years.
We've done some crazy stuff together.
Okay, seriously, shave your fucking mustache.
You are saying absolutely nothing. It's all empty. Just an incredibly surface level attempt at mocking somebody. Because how in the world can it be not surface level if you look for anything to point out every 2 seconds? It reminds me of those terrible battle rap videos where people who can't rap and roast for shit need to come up with something quick, but their brain isn't wired or trained to be actually coming up with coherent sentences to say off the top of their dome. So they just end up stumbling, repeating themselves, and going for the ultimate zingers, such as, "You look stupid, you didn't know that? What a dumbass. Hey guys, look, this is so dumb, am I right?" Trying to win over the crowd, not realizing they just look kinda pathetic, and sometimes people will laugh and clap out of awkwardness and because they feel kinda sorry for them. If you are wondering, but hey, Sir Pesno, you avoided one very important topic in a video that's critical towards Leafy. Do you think he deserved the ban? What are your thoughts on that? And an answer to this conundrum will be best answered here. In one of my videos I did a couple of months ago now, damn, time flies like a motherfucker, about Nick is not green, a creator who was showing some very apparent pro-YouTube ban beliefs, because I think instead of putting just Leafy's situation through a lens, it'd be much more productive if you'd look at the bigger picture, put our biases aside, whether you like Leafy or not, and have a conversation about where the boundaries should be, or if there ever should be any to begin with. And you'll get a pretty good grasp of my perspective regarding all of that from this video. Thank you for watching, and hopefully I'll see you on the next session.